So we're currently lifting 3 times a week, and the strength work is pretty heavy, but the volume is pretty low right now. And the reason why I'm doing this is so that I don't accumulate more fatigue throughout the week. Heavier work can be tough on your CNS, on your central nervous system, and can produce like central fatigue if it's taken to maxes. And specifically, we're talking about like 1 rep maxes, like lifts that are above 95% of your 1 RM. That level of high intensity. So when you're doing triples, fours, fives, sixes, you're not gonna be in those like higher ranges of your absolute max. You're gonna be in the lower, like high 80s maybe. Like a a maxed out set of 5 should be around 87% of your 1 RM. So if I'm leaving like 1 or 2 reps in reserve at 5, I'm probably sitting on like the low 80s for absolute intensity. And at that level of like intensity, the work is gonna feel heavy and it's gonna be hard, but I'm not gonna be taxing my CNS to the extremes, and I'm also not gonna be taxing my muscles to the extremes, and I'm not gonna cause too much like delayed onset muscle soreness like DOMS the next day. So it's kind of like a nice balance that allows me to, more than anything, retain the muscle that I have and retain the strength that I have. I will not be building muscle or strength with this program. And because of what I'm doing now, it's not the fucking goal either. So it's like the best training that I can do for my current goals, at least according to me and all the research that I've conducted. Not myself, but that I've read. It's the general consensus. If I wasn't trying to do this triathlon thing, if I wasn't doing as much cardio as I was doing, if my sole goal was to build muscle, yeah, I'd probably hang out in the 8 to 12 rep range. If we go back like 4 or 5 years at this point, when I was trying to do Olympic weightlifting as a sport, then we'll probably be even lower than that. Well, the strength work will probably be 5 to 8, but the actual lifts, we're talking like triples at most, because we're trying to build absolute strength, and proficiency in those lifts, the snatch and clean and jerk. So you have to adjust your strength work to the goals that you're currently pursuing, but you can never, at least in my opinion, you should never ever skip strength work. Just like you should never skip cardio. Like, unless you're a strength athlete or a like very committed like endurance athlete, like, it's your career, is what you do, there shouldn't be any reason for you to not have a well-rounded program that has both cardio and like resistance training. And I'm one to say that even endurance athletes should still lift weights. Maybe not the whole season or the whole year. At the peaking times of their season, like the bigger competitions, and maybe the last month of the season, you don't actually go to the gym. You're just doing your sport. Same thing with strength athletes. Yeah, maybe like when it comes time to start competing, you forget about cardio. You forget about all your accessory work. Like, you're like peaking. You're in competition season. But the rest of the year, you should have a well-rounded program that is, of course, like designed for your sport. But that's like the upper echelon of any sport. For us regular people, like you just having regular lives, and sports are more like a hobby, maybe a hobby that we take very seriously. Like, you should still prioritize your health. You're not making money out of this, so have a well-rounded program. Never skip strength, never skip cardio. You can do both. All right. It's about 9. I've been going to bed pretty late lately, so we're gonna go to bed. Tomorrow we have a run in the morning and then jiu-jitsu in the afternoon. some rice, pickled onions, pickled garlic, pickled olives, pickles, and some sausages. I like pickle stuff. And athletic bread. And Anki, of course. And Demon Slayer. So yeah, good night. Thursday night, we just worked out, had an upper body, well, like full body with like an upper body focus is what I call it. Just make sure I hit hamstrings because they don't get a lot of attention in everything that I do. And calves, tibialis, knee health, very important. And then we did bench, pull-ups, rear delts. So 3 sets of each. Pretty good effort on all of them. I'd say RP 9. Probably a few of those sets were like RP 10. Probably not. RP 9. People don't realize how hard an RP 10 really is, or even an RP 9. Most people like underperform when it comes to like effort prescriptions. Like an RP 10 is your absolute max. Like it is physically impossible for you to move the weight again, or move yourself if you're doing like a body weight movement, and that's pretty hard. That's pretty fucking hard. So yeah, got everything on RP 9. I think it was like 18 sets total. And now we're heading off to, I go to a men's group every week. It's just like half a dozen guys, maybe not that anymore. Maybe like 6 or 8 that are pretty consistent. Friend put it together just to like talk about shit that you normally wouldn't talk about to your like friends on like a social setting. And I think the idea is pretty good. It's almost like an AA group or a support group. We just talk about shit, cry sometimes. Yeah. And I enjoy it. It's a good part of my week. There were times where I really think I could have used that. We're in a better place now, though, so that's all good. I think the Australian government a while ago had a project, like sheds or something it was called, where like men would go to these sheds that were built and sponsored by the government, and they were just full of tools. And they would just work on their shit, like bring a lawnmower, work on their car or something. Mainly because the government discovered that, in general, men don't talk about their feelings unless there's something in front of them that they're focusing on. So people would just bring their lawnmower and start talking about like family issues, relationship issues and stuff. It's kind of what this feels like. We have somebody bring food every week. Yeah, we have topics. We discuss quotes and all that kind of stuff. All in all, it's a good time. It's a good space. But yeah. Beyond that, training this week has felt a little better. I feel like I am getting a little fitter, even though it's technically like week 2, but I've been training nonstop on this triathlon format for like the last few months. So starting to see some progress finally. It's taken like a proper or like 6 weeks to actually feel like I'm actually getting faster in the run and faster in the bike. Zone 2 doesn't leave me hurting, and I actually feel like I can move at a zone 2 pace. Before that, I felt like, man, I'm just fucking 13 or 14-minute miles to stay at zone 2. Kind of annoying. But I mean, that's what it is. That's what conditioning is. You go through this period of time where it's just like, yeah, it sucks. Especially if you haven't done it in a while, or if you're out of shape. It's gonna feel like you're moving very slow, and you are, you know. But at least cardiovascularly, you adapt pretty quickly. So you just gotta go through that. Like everybody does it. Make sure you don't get out of shape, and then you won't have to go through it again. And then you'll never get faster, or you'll never feel like you're getting faster, just because it's like after you get past that initial period of like quick and fast gains, your progress slows dramatically. It does not stay linear. So yeah, it is what it is though. That's what sports are. It's kind of why I've given up on like strength work and a lot of other shit that I used to do, because like the amount of work that it would take for me to like hit a 500-pound squat, I don't know if I have it on me, honestly. Just like the months of just like squatting, heavy, eating, squatting, eating, sleeping. Ah, man. So I'm glad that this triathlon adventure came into my life at this period, because I was running out of motivation. I mean, jiu-jitsu was going pretty strong, but jiu-jitsu still fucking hurts. Like if you want to get better fast, it fucking hurts. You have to train hard. You're going to be sore. You're going to be testing yourself. You know, aches on all your joints is pretty a commonplace. Meanwhile, this way, I have other goals. So when I go to jiu-jitsu training, it's not like getting better at jiu-jitsu. It's just being there in the session, enjoying it, and being creative, which is also a pretty good way of getting better at jiu-jitsu. So we've been doing that. And I mean, all in all, even though I'm doing like 2 sessions a day, most days, I'm still trying to debate if I need to take a rest day. I'm gonna give it like a month and see how I feel. But it's 2 sessions Monday through Friday, and 1 very long session on Saturday and Sundays. Very long. I mean, long. Running for 40 minutes for me is long. So the session on Sundays is long. The bike session on Saturday, it's long. I call it long. It's like 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So, but yeah, not bad. But Monday through Friday, I'm working out twice a day. It's easier training though. Like the really, really hard days are like Wednesday, when I do drills in the pool, and then I have intervals in the evening on the bike, and those hurt quite a bit. And beyond that, I mean, Tuesday can get tough because it's jiu-jitsu. So kind of like that period of like Tuesday night through Wednesday, it's like the harder part of the week, you know. But besides that, all the other training is relatively easy. Like I'm talking like zone 2, maybe a little bit of zone 3, zone 4 on some of the pool intervals, but we're talking like very, very low volume at high intensities. So trying to keep with that like 80-20 split, and just doing volume, just getting used to like hours on the move and on the go. So that's what this endurance world is. But yeah, it's getting kind of dark. No, you can still see me in the camera. But yeah. Work, on the other hand, it's going. It's going. Getting out of our busy season in construction. I'm a manager now. I got reports, so I got to go through my first year doing performance reviews. So I'm gonna prepare for that. People looked at me kind of crazy when I told them that I've had a couple like tough meetings with these guys. Talk about like showing up on time, keeping me informed if they're going to the doctor and stuff, not missing meetings. That was the biggest thing that I had. And there were a couple meetings where I had to like calm down on these guys, and I was fucking nervous. Holy shit, I was really fucking nervous about that. So like I prepared, like I rehearsed in the car at home. I thought about everything that I was gonna say, and like really took my time to like come up with something good and something like I thought it was gonna be impactful. And when I told my boss and a couple of friends that, they were like, you really did all that? I was like, yeah. Like I feel like I have to. Part of it might be me, because it's like that's just the way I am, and part of me maybe it's like jitters because I've never had this discussion before, so I didn't want to just wing it. I wanted to like do something like that was gonna work. I'm gonna get through this fucking guy's sets because like one of them is older than me. One of them is like 36, and the other one is like 23. So it's like I get both ends of the spectrum. One guy that's older than me that kind of like looks down on me a little bit, and then a younger guy who's just like thinks he knows everything. Those are the extremes. They're not quite like that, but you know what I mean. So yeah, and it went well. Like, I think it was a productive, tough meeting that we had. So I left that feeling pretty good about myself. And I think it's gonna be the same thing for these performance reviews. It's just gonna be talking about the past year and like really honing down some things and trying to guide people. Like, that's what I want to do. Like, if they put me in this position as managers because I am good at some things, and in my case it's like having a long-term outlook on things and planning things and like really being able to cut through the bullshit and get through the bottom and get to the problems and fix them. So that's kind of what I want to give these people and tell them, it's like, hey, we're a team here. This is how we gotta do shit. Or this is how we're gonna try doing shit. What do you think? And then once we reach an agreement, we move on with that mindset and with those systems for the next like 6 months. And then we peel back or like we open the door and we ask the questions, is this working? What do we need to change? Why is this not working? You know, iterations is what I always say. You gotta throw shit at the wall and then stay with it for at least a few months before changing it. You know, it's like fully knowing that it's not gonna be perfect. Like that just doesn't. It's not a fucking thing. You're not gonna get something right on the first try or the second try or the third try. You know, it's gonna take a few. It's gonna take a few years. But yeah, that's about it. I am about to get here, so that'll be for this little card talk. This guy will go. Alrighty, pulling up here. Bye. I have a tire in this car that's been leaking for the past like 2 weeks. I keep filling it up and forgetting to take it into the shop. Last time I filled it up, it had like 13 psi, and the normal is like 36. And it looked pretty flat this morning. Fuck. Heading over to rugby practice on Saturdays, just like every Saturday morning. I don't know if these videos will continue to be entertaining because it's like I literally do the exact same thing every fucking week, every day, at the same time, for months on end, and I never change it, or very rarely deviate from what I'm supposed to do. I guess the interesting part is that I'm training twice a day now, but that's about it. It's fun though. I'm gonna be coaching the middle school kids next year, so that'll be entertaining. I've been taking some of the online courses that I took several years ago because they expired from the IRB, International Rugby Board. I think it's called World Rugby now. Whatever it may be. But yeah. I have, oddly enough, with all the cardio that I've been doing, I've been gaining weight, which I don't love. It hasn't been much weight. It's been like 2 pounds. Still seems so weird. Oh, the cops are here. Yeah. Still seems very weird. But yeah, I've been taking a lot of creatine now too, just because I was just so tired the first few weeks. But yeah, currently the split's looking like swim and lifting on Monday, running and jiu-jitsu on Tuesdays, swimming and a hard bike interval session on Wednesdays. Thursdays I run and then lift in the afternoon. Fridays is a swim and a lift. Today, Saturday, I come to this rugby practice in the mornings, so maybe run a little bit. And then I have a longer bike session today, so it's easier, but a lot of volume. And then tomorrow I'm supposed to do my long run, which I think this week will be like 40 minutes. I'm a baby, a little bitch, and I haven't run much in a while. The main reason I'm worried about my weight is the run, to be honest with you, because even my hips been bothering me a little bit. Nothing crazy, but just keeping an eye on it, doing mobility work, and I think it's all related to weight. Like, I'm a pretty heavy guy, you know. Even when I was playing rugby, I was like 205. I got down to like the 180s one year, and that was extremely light for me, and I was like 19 at the time. But yeah, like I was walking around 225, and you would ask anybody if I looked, what I looked like that I weighted, and the answer was usually like 180, 190 pounds, and I weighted 220. So like I carry the weight relatively well, I guess, and it's just, I don't know, I'm a heavy guy, so I don't think I'll ever get down to like the 180s again. But it'd be nice to hover around the 190s, like low 190s. Maybe like see 180 on the scale like once, just like the 188s, and then leave it at that. But yeah, I think my ideal weight should be maybe around 190, so that's like about 12 pounds from where I'm at right now. So I'm hoping that all this cardio and all this extra training can help out with that. I'm still controlling my diet. I'm only eating around 2,000, 2,300 calories every day, and I'm probably burning around 3,000. So I'm in it's not a horribly steep deficit, but it is a deficit. So hopefully we just keep chopping away at it. I just couldn't do the cuts that I was doing earlier on this year and the last couple of years, which like they were the type of training and diet that I needed to follow at the time for the goals that I had at the time. I just wanted to drop the weight and I wanted to do it fast, you know, and dieting is hard for me, so I would just like buckle down for like 12 to 16 weeks and like really cut my calories down. Like the last successful few cuts that I had were like, I stayed in the 1500s for a while as far as calories goes. And yeah, I mean, I went down from like 240 to like 195 at like my lowest, maybe like 193 at my lowest. And then getting back to eating like a normal person, you're gonna put some weight. I think I went up to like 198, and now I'm sitting around like 201, 202. So it's an extra 4 pounds that I don't think they were fat. I think it was just a combination of like truly replenishing all the glycogen storages, a little bit of like water retention from all the training and creatine, and then maybe like a pound of muscle or so, because my upper body has gotten dramatically bigger over the last couple of years, and especially this last year. Like I've noticed a genuine difference in like the size of my upper body, especially my back. I think I had a very undeveloped back. But yeah, so I'm not upset with the weight. Like I like the way I look, and I feel strong right now. I feel like I'm eating enough food to recover almost like as well as I could. So the deficit is still not eating out at me so much. And I think if I just keep it at this like 500 calorie deficit, maybe like 700 calorie deficit, I should be able to continue to drop the weight the way I want to. Now the other thing is that there's some days where I'm pretty sure I'm probably closer to like 4,000 calories burnt on the day, like Saturdays, for example, with a long ride. I don't know how accurate that is though, so I do eat a little more on the weekends. And if I really start stagnating with the weight drop, then I might have to address like the weekends and see how much I'm actually burning. I may just be overeating on the weekends. But yeah, that's about it for now. Oh shit, this thing's gonna die. Alright, I'll talk to you guys later today. Bye. All right, 40 ended up being like 43 minutes because I stepped out to record and I had to get a new battery. So 43 minutes in the clock, more like 40 minutes of actual running. I'm finally to the point where easy, like zone 2 runs feel easy. I can stay at zone 2 for the most part, and they are actually nice. It took a couple months, but finally feeling like I got a groove when it comes to running for longer than 5 minutes. So yeah, all good, pretty sweaty. I turned the lights off. I don't know why. When I'm here, I like being in the dark. I just prefer to work out like that sometimes. I was watching Demon Slayer too, so it's not that deep. And the reflection of that light up there is kind of shitty. Can you see it? Yeah, on the camera or the screen. So yeah, all in all, a good run. This concludes the training week. I think after some conversations with my wife and some friends, I need to add a rest day. Which I never thought that I wasn't gonna have a rest day during like the actual training. What the fuck is up with my hair? I just always thought that if I could just figure out what I like doing and what's a good split that works for me here in the next few weeks or months, then I would just like organize it properly. So I just needed more data. That's why I wasn't taking a rest day, because I just wanted to train more and see what works best for me. But I'm thinking it's gonna be Friday, and then maybe I can have 2 sessions on Saturdays and then 1 session on Sunday, as opposed to just 2 very long sessions on Saturday and Sunday. And I think that will work out nicely. And I mean, I'm tired throughout the week. And then yesterday, I felt pretty beat up. So thinking about it, it would have been nice I couldn't even bike yesterday. I didn't even bike because I was just like, yeah, it just didn't seem smart. So yeah, I think Fridays as a rest day is going to be a good thing. So that leaves every other day of the week as a 2 a day, except for Sunday, which is just going to be this long run that's going to progressively get longer and longer. And I think I like it like that. Like, running eventually will be the hardest thing and the toughest thing to recover from. So just have that 1 day of running that's supposed to be your long run by itself, I think is the best option. So yeah, all in all, a good week of training. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoy this, please subscribe. It helps a ton. And then yeah, trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. But yeah, love you all. All right, bye.
It is important to draw wisdom from many different places. If we take it from only one place, it becomes rigid and stale. Understanding others, the other elements, and the other nations will help you become whole.